How y'all doing? Nick Brengle here, and today we're talking about aspect ratios and crop factors, specifically when shooting RAW with your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. So without this video getting way out of hand, I really kind of just wanted to have a quick look at the available aspect ratios within your Blackmagic 6K, shooting in RAW, and just your options. But obviously knowing that those aren't your only options, because if you're shooting like I do 9 times out of 10 in the full 6K, getting the full sensor, full resolution out of your camera, you're able to work that in a 4K timeline, 2K, 1080, whatever the project is calling for, and you can adjust from there. A lot of us are doing that already. We're shooting things and having the ability to crop in without losing any detail or depth, and retaining all that information, so that when we're doing our color grading and our rendering, that we're not losing any information. But shooting in RAW with the Blackmagic, you do get a few different options. One that we're not going to look at is the anamorphic, because I don't have an anamorphic lens, but you get the idea of anamorphic. Anyway, it stretches the image, and you get all those really cool lens flares and just a very distinct look. But with the Blackmagic, the traditional full sensor readout for 6K is 6,144 by 3,456, and it goes down from there. It's the only aspect ratio within this camera that you're actually using the full sensor. Everything else is either windowed or cropped at some point, and that's not a bad thing at all. I've tested different aspect ratios, different crop factors. It really just plays into whatever you're shooting, if it makes sense for that moment, if you're framing it up and it looks how you want it to look. So probably one of the most important things to understand is the crop factor when shooting in different aspect ratios with your Pocket 6K. And this pertains to the Pocket 4K and really any sensor that's not full frame, that you might need to do a little bit of math. I hate math, but it's not that complicated. If you're shooting in the full sensor, full 6K, then your crop factor is 1.558. So times whatever your focal length is at by that number, and that is roughly what you are shooting at. So this shot right here is at about 25 millimeters, but because of that crop factor, we're looking at closer to 40 mil. And that's really just, that's just simple math, and each aspect ratio has a different formula to figure out roughly what that focal length is. So as we wrap up, I just want to mention the color grading in this production, and just kind of different little things that I feel like I try to mention at least at the end of the video, so that you know. So number one, everything was color graded in Resolve using the neutral LUT from Joel Famillaro's Phantom pack, and a little bit of dehancer was also mixed in, just to make it look nice and filmy, because that's typically where I am living in, is that surreal world. And we have the Godox VL150 right here, and we have a really cheap newer, however you pronounce that, softbox right here, about 2 feet from my face, and we're at about 40% power, and I believe this shot is at f2.8, and we are at the base ISO of 400. The audio, as usual, is being recorded through the Rode NT3, which is just above my head right here, and it's going into the Zoom H4n Pro. I have my Portkeys monitor just below, right out of frame, so I can see myself and I can adjust focus and everything like that. And then I have a hair light back here, which of course I have a hat on, so it's really just separating me from the background a little bit more, and a few other just accent random lights. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy at all. So, okay, I think I've talked enough. I wanted to keep this video short and sweet. So if you have stopped by and you are interested in this subject of aspect ratios, and you have a question, a comment, anything like that, drop it down below. hit the like button and consider subscribing if this is your first time stopping by. Maybe my video is recommended for some random reason. Go check out some of my other content, and yeah, until the next upload, go create something, and yeah, take care of each other.